Just waiting for this to sync to YouTube. Okay, looks like we're live. Hello all. Welcome to the Jet Goes Live edition number 6. Today and the whole of the week has been relatively quiet. So there's not much to talk about, but I have compiled some stuff that I think may be of interest to people. So yeah, we'll run through that in a minute. A bit of housekeeping and just some general stuff. I've got my fan in the background, so please, guys, do let me know if it's a bit noisy. I have tried to put it in the furthest corner of my room, so yeah, please do let me know in the live chat if it is slightly noisy, but it is absolutely baking. So it's just been one of those days, and I've had a really busy day. I haven't been working today, but just errands to run and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is the first thing I wanted to know. As I've mentioned in the last few weeks, I know there hasn't been too much boxing on recently, but in terms of subscriber numbers, we've kind of dropped off. I know some people have said inactive channels have been getting deleted by YouTube and that sort of stuff. We've kind of just like hit a plateau on the channel. So please, everyone who watches my videos, who enjoys the content, please give the thumbs up, share the content on social media. So it just gets out to a larger boxing audience, and especially Twitter. That's probably the best place to get to have a get it out there and get everyone retweeting and that sort of stuff. So hopefully we can all do that. I seem to be getting a consistent dislike on all my recent videos and a few previous ones. So yeah, to whoever that guy is, if you don't like the content, please put in the comment section why you don't like it, and I will try to explain why it is I do what I do. But maybe controversy and that sort of stuff causes and plays a part in that. So hey ho, can't please everyone. So yeah, let's crack on. I don't know, in the comment section, sorry, the chat, no one is talking. So oh, hello Mikey, hope you're well, mate. I thought I was beginning to think my chat was playing up. So yeah, anyone who has any interesting topics they want to discuss in the chat, please hit me up on the chat. I will put my Skype out there. As I've had some problems making a new Skype with my sort of YouTube handle, I've had to resort to using my personal one. So I will put it out there, but I will stress, please do not contact me on it. Outside of the allotted hours I go on it, because I don't really use it, but for personal discretion and privacy purposes, please do not contact me otherwise on it. But evening, Damien. Hope you're well, mate. So yeah, I will stress that. I will put my Skype out there, and if someone wants to have a boxing chat, that would be great. Mikey, Damien, if you can tell me if there is a large noise in the background in terms of my fan, and Archie, hope you're well, mate. Please do let me know on that. I do have a Facebook, but it is a personal one. It isn't a professional one, so I'm not going to give that out just yet. I am on Twitter, okay. That's great, mate. Cheers, thank you. It's just really hot. The fan is on in the background. But yeah, please do hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter link is in the description. So yeah, please do hit me up on that. Enough of me rambling for about 5 minutes or so. That was a bit of housekeeping, a bit of stuff that I just need to do before most live shows, I guess. I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff that I think some of you guys might be interested in. So we'll obviously talk about the weekend's action. Robert Guerrero loses to David Peralta. Slight upset, or maybe big upset. Terrell Gausha on the undercard. Jarrell Miller on the Friday. So yeah, that's something we can discuss. I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on that. We'll discuss that. And Rosado and Monroe, they're going at it at the presser for their fight. So that's something there. Jojo Diaz, a potential world title shot in his next fight. His next fight I think is against a journeyman, but the fight after that, they're saying that he might be getting a world title shot. So we'll discuss slightly more in depth than that. I did release a video about Ricky Burns having to face Kirill Relic, a Belarusian fighter, as a WBA mandatory fight. So we can discuss that in a bit more detail, potential options for Burns. Jacobs has come out and said he'd face GGG for the right money before Canelo. So we'll discuss that. Chris Eubank Jr., Tommy Langford, Frank Warren, Tommy Ustazen made a comeback over the weekend as well. David Price is keen on the Parker fight. Canelo saying that potentially the Liam Smith fight is his last at 140. So there is a fair bit to talk about. Also, we could touch briefly. I've done it in 2 or 3 live shows ago. I've done it. Maurice Breedis, is certainly mandated now to face the winner of Flores Bellew. So there's some stuff some good stuff to discuss. It's not the lackluster. It's not the blockbuster stuff. Slightly more lackluster, but it's boxing nonetheless. There are some other stuff as well. I have a very large list on my phone. So let's go through the weekend's action. I mean, Jarrell Miller fought on the weekend, or was it the weekend before that? I can't actually remember. But I want to briefly discuss Jarrell Miller. I watched. It was the weekend before, wasn't it? I'm losing my marbles. But Miller is a interesting sort of proposition in the heavyweight division. I mean, Jarrell Miller, he definitely goes. He's one of those polarizing figures. That's what I'm going to say. I can't really be too critical on anything else. He done what he had to do. He looked good against Cassie at spots in the fight. I mean, in the first round, he was getting outboxed, but second and third round, when he bulldozed the guy, he rushed him. Cassie was really up against the ropes. He didn't know what to do with Jarrell Miller. So yeah, I mean, it is one of those. It is one of those things. I don't know what people think on. People view Jarrell Miller as. Do they view him as a journeyman? Do they view him as a gatekeeper? I really don't know. It's a tough one. I certainly think he's got some upside in the heavyweight division, but we haven't seen him against the sort of top opponents. So let's wait and see. He's been calling out AJ, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Interesting tidbit. I did have a chat with Jamal Charlo on Twitter, and I asked him who his favorite heavyweight was, or who's the best active heavyweight currently on the landscape. I think. He mentioned that it was Deontay Wilder for sure. So make of that what you will. He may have sparred, or he may have been in the gym with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is not a heavy sort of thick set heavyweight. So I mean, he's not the biggest of heavyweights. He comes in about 220, 230. So maybe he has a point there, but I had a chat with him earlier in the week, a couple of days ago. So that was his take on the heavyweights. I mean, Miller seems to have an excellent chin. You know, I just think if he comes and bulldozes opponents with his massive sort of frame, he's almost 21, 22 stone, hitting 300 pounds. And definitely he could take some sort of love handles off the side. Don't get me wrong, but he's definitely not out of shape. He is definitely in shape, and he knows what he's doing around the ring. It seems, he has an inkling of what he's doing. I did watch the Mako Crow Cup fight. If anyone is interested in UFC, not UFC, MMA, and it was in the Glory sort of series. Jarrell Miller held his own. He didn't look visibly hurt by Crow Cup, who has those stand-up head kicks, and they're very, very effective. And he doesn't seem to have a bad chin at all. I think he can go into the lion's den and definitely fight fire with fire. So yeah, that's my kind of take on that. I think he knows his way around the ring, but in terms of high level skill on being a top level operator, I don't think he has that sort of skill. But we'll wait and see. I mean, he is of interest, and I think I would like to keep an eye on him. Where I have kept an eye on him, quite early on in his pro career, kind of to the start. So, he's definitely one to keep an eye on. And let me know your thoughts on Jarrell Miller in the chat. Archie's obviously said Hughie Fury versus Miller. Who wins? I think Hughie Fury beats him all day. I just think he's an elite level technician. I think Miller is going to struggle with that. Someone who's going to move and box and use the jab and really be, methodical with his punches. I think him, Tyson Fury, possibly Deontay Wilder, possibly AJ probably is too accurate for him as well. But Miller's in any fight, to be honest, against any top level heavyweight. I think he's definitely got a chance, a puncher's chance, if only that. I think definitely can, cause the big guys. The big sort of top level heavyweight, some trouble. That just with his sheer size, he's a tank of a man. Let's put it that way. And I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes in the heavyweight division. Moving on. Obviously, Robert Guerrero. There's been some chatter about Robert Guerrero in the live chat. My take on Robert Guerrero is. I think the guy's been in too many wars. Kama guy, what was the other one? Keith Thurman. He took too many blows. This fight, he took too many blows against, a journeyman type sort of fighter. Hadi. I'm gonna come on to Cal Brookmate in a bit. He's been talking a lot this last week. But I mean, it is it's a tough one. Guerrero, I don't want to spend too much time on him, but Guerrero is one of those polarizing sort of figures. I think he only fights to the level of opposition, and Peralta was the sort of standard level of opposition that you would expect him to beat. But against Danny Garcia, he done fantastic against Garcia, but he drops down one level, and this is kind of how he looks. I mean, I don't know what it is with Robert Guerrero, but his best days certainly look past him. He's not. I don't know if it's just because he fights the level of opposition, but he's certainly not the fighter he was at 135 and 130, those sort of divisions. He was a fantastic pound for pound fighter, at that sort of level. But he's not really progressing, and I don't know, man. It's a tough one. It really is a tough one with him. But let me know your thoughts on Robert Guerrero. Did you think he won the fight? I don't think he won the fight, but please let me know so I have an inkling on to what you guys are thinking as well. I'll put my Skype name out there. I don't think anyone wants to Skype me, so we'll just carry on with some tidbits in the chat and with the topics that we have. So there's been some talk about Cal Brook this week as well. Cal Brook's been going on saying, I've got a good chance again. I have heard of him, Cabrera, but I haven't seen much of his work. So I'd have to, invest a bit more time into him, Mikey. But I have heard of him. They've been talking about him on some boxing forums and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, Cal Brook, it's one of those things. I mean, I don't give him a chance at all, but, if he can stay in a fight, I've heard he's been sparring well with Liam Williams, Liam Smith, those sort of guys. It is one of those things, and I really don't know what Cal Brook is going to try and do. I've heard some stuff saying he's going to use the jab and that sort of stuff, and I just can't see. I can't see Cal Brook's jab being better than Golovkin's, and it's going to be a really, really tough one to to deal with. I think it's going to be really hard. But we'll wait and see. His weight, I mean, his weight is a big issue for me. I would think he needs to come in light. I would have thought, 156, 157 would be fantastic to come in. He would retain the speed, have some decent pop, be able to move. I know that's not necessarily style, but moving and that sort of stuff. But if he could do, he could move. I think he could even miss weight. That's how big he looks at this moment in time. In terms of not fat, but just pure muscle, I think he's put on massive muscle on his shoulders. And to be honest, if I sit up and I stand up, you can see how big my shoulders are. And, I'm pushing 90 kg, if that. So Cal Brook, I don't think he's ever going to make 147 again. I know some people have been talking about Errol Spence, and that sort of stuff. I just can't see him facing Errol Spence. And that's not to say he's ducking him, because he's facing one of the most feared fighters on the planet at the moment. So anyone who's giving him unfair criticism, saying, "Oh, he's ducking Errol Spence or he's ducking Khan or anyone," he's certainly not, because it's one of those ones. But I don't think he will miss weight, Team Groves, but I think he could potentially. He looks very, very big at the moment. I'm talking he's probably close to 165, 168. He's probably close to super middleweight limit. So and I think he must. No, I don't think he spends a night in a sauna. I think he he certainly doesn't. It's not as hard for him to make 147 as I think many people make it out, only because he's not putting on extra muscle or anything like this. This one, he's putting on extra muscle and trying to bulk up to 160 instead of actually just naturally cutting. He's bulking up and cutting down as well at the same time, because he seems to gain weight over time. So I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to definitely miss weight, but it's a distinct possibility. He could miss it by a few pounds and then just get down to 160. He might come in at 160.2 or something like that. We never know. But I do think he'll make weight, but in terms of the fight itself, I just don't think he's got a hope in hell. And that's coming from a UK-based guy. I like Cal Brook. I like his work. He's a very good fighter in his own right, but he's just fundamentally not better than Golovkin. Down the stretch. Just in more ways than one, I think Golovkin is better than him, and I think he's really gonna hurt him in there, and I think hurt his credibility, possibly marketability. I think he's but I think the main thing is that I think Golovkin is he's just a level above, I think, in terms of what he's done, the opponents he's faced as well, his amateur record, everything else. Porter was Porter, though. I didn't write him off against Porter. I thought he had a very, very good chance against Porter. I just think Golovkin is, what he does, the subtleties in his game, they're really gonna, you know, they're really gonna tell on the night. And I think, you know, Brook is very good. Mikey said obviously lack of head movement. I think GGG, him not moving his head, maybe that's just his style, but I think you know, he cuts off the ring so well. He does so many different things that the head movement isn't, you know, the biggest of concerns to me. Maybe Andre Ward, if he was facing Andre Ward, someone like that, really slick, really awkward, who's going to come in at, you know, numerous different angles. But you know, Eddie Hearn said Cowboy's going to come in at different angles and that sort of stuff. So we'll wait and see. I just don't see, you know, Brook in terms of his style being similar to someone like an Andre Ward. You know, being like awfully difficult to deal with. But as I said, we'll see on the night. It's looking good. Charlie Edwards is looking really good as well. I'm interested to see if you guys would say Brook beat someone like a Lemieux or someone like that. Let me know your thoughts on that. Canelo versus Smith, Louis Jarrett. Yeah, I was getting to that. Canelo all day. Smith is good in his own right as it is, but yeah, I think Canelo is just fundamentally too good for him. You know, A-grade power, good skills, come forward, he can box on the back foot. So I think Smith is good, but yeah, that's my take on Canelo Smith. Is coming up soon, I think in about 2.5 weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. I think Alexander Usyk and Christopher Glovacki is also on that night, so shaping up to be a very, very decent night of boxing on September 17th. Yeah, fair enough. Lemieux over Brook, that's people's opinion. I'm not gonna say Lemieux beats him. I just wanted to you know, maybe get a inkling into what people were thinking. Brook is good. I just haven't seen him tested at 160, so it's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Pump for Usyk. Yeah, Usyk is I think is a real top level talent at cruiserweight, and I think he's going to beat Glovacki. But Glovacki is a strong, you know, a strong fighter, and he's definitely be in the fight if he can catch Usyk. Billy Joe Saunders, I was actually going to discuss him, but since someone's brought it up, Saunders is off the radar. As far as I know, I have not heard anything from him in regards to boxing. So yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything to do with Billy Joe Saunders, which is a bit of a shame because two potential opponents he could have faced, Gabriel Rosado and Willie Monroe Jr. are on the Canelo Smith undercard, and they've been going at it this week, saying, you know, Willie Monroe said he's an ESPN level fighter, and you know, Rosado said you've been fighting ESPN, fighting those sort of guys, and you know, Willie Monroe going back and forth. So yeah, it's just it was quite funny. I mean, you know, they're talking about facing Saunders, but this fight is a level below that. So we'll wait and see who wins that. It could be a potential opponent for them. Yes, I do think him and Frank Warren are having a falling out. He's openly come out and criticised Frank Warren in an IFL TV interview, saying, deal with my promoters, and you know, I can kind of go from there because it's not my choice in terms of where I'm fighting, who I'm fighting, and you know, all I really want is money for fighting, and that's it. So I do think him and Frank are definitely gonna think, you know, have a difference of opinions. I've said this for a while. Billy Joe Saunders would be good at Matchroom. I think he's a marketable fighter. He does talk a fair bit and that sort of stuff. But what he said in the past is that he'll never leave Frank Warren, and he's a loyal guy and that sort of stuff. because he signed from him right at the beginning. I think after they turned pro after the 2008 Olympics, I think him, Frankie Gavin, and James DeGale all joined Frank Warren at the very start. So I think it's highly unlikely he'll join Matchroom, but he'll get some good exposure over at Sky and Eddie. So yeah. Everyone's talking about the Eubanks. I've got some stuff on him. Huck versus McKenzie. Huck all day in that, but McKenzie is a live underdog in any fight. I just think he's a bit small for Huck, who probably can make heavyweight pretty comfortably and well. So yeah, I think Marco Huck is a formidable sort of guy to face. You know, even though he got even Charlie, hope you well, mate. Yeah, so it's one of those ones. Tommy Eustace also fought on the weekend. South African light heavyweight prospect. He fought, and you know, he won the WBA sort of trinket belt, Pan American or Pan African, sorry, belt. So yeah, let's see if he can kind of get his career in check. He was a good prospect, and he was supposed to face Jürgen Bremer for the regular title. So yeah, I hope to see Tommy Eustace a bit more. He's a decent sort of fighter. Yeah, I heard he quit his job. I heard he quit his. I heard he quit his job as a taxi driver. So yeah. Mikey, I'd like to think I've heard from most fighters, you know, as the sort of boxing gossip podcast panelists say, I'm the biggest nerd. So yeah, you know, it's just one of those ones. I am a nerd, but you know, I just I don't always get time to get around to checking everyone. It's a bit of a tough schedule for me. Liam Walsh beats Klimov. You know, Jose Pedraza done a good job on Klimov, so Liam Walsh, I think, should do Liam Walsh should do a good job on him. I mean, that is a local fight. I could probably go watch that, to be fair. You know, Liam Walsh is far, but not too far from the house. But the tickets are extortionately priced. You know, 40 quid, I think. And that certainly is not what 40 quid Liam Walsh versus Klimov. So I wouldn't like to, you know, I'd rather go York Hall, which is probably around the same distance. O2, maybe around the same distance as well. I mean, yeah, it is one of those ones. But yeah, Liam Walsh wins that fight for me. I'm going to talk about AJ. I will talk about him, but I'd like to discuss David Price in the meantime. David Price said he's keen on facing Joseph Parker. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that fight. You know, I'd like to see that fight if it could occur. You know, I think Parker would be very, very heavily favoured by the boxing fans in that fight, but Price can ice anyone. Let's put it that way. He can certainly get rid of anyone. He's got that big punch. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing if that one can be made on an AJ undercard. Who would I like to see him face next is that's sort of a tough one. It could be anyone, I guess, but there are strong rumors that he's facing Kubrat Pulev next. So you know, make of that what you will. Personally, I'd like to see him face it's a tough one. I wouldn't mind seeing you know, maybe an Eric Molina, that sort of opponent, but you know, that sort of opponent who's there or thereabouts. You know, I wouldn't have mind him facing someone like a Glaskov. You know, if Glaskov was fit, sorry. You know, Steve Cunningham was fighting at heavyweight. I wouldn't mind seeing him against Steve Cunningham. Antonio Tarver, I wouldn't mind him I wouldn't mind him against these sort of guys that are gonna teach Andy Joshua different things. There'd be good fights for his development. I'm not saying I'm an AJ fan or anything, but he's a massive commodity in the UK. So I certainly think that AJ needs those development fights if he's going to continue being a massive commodity and a phenomenon in the UK market. Because he's certainly going to branch out, not just UK, Europe. He's going to branch out to the Americas as well. So that's my thoughts on AJ. David Price and Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker obviously has a fight against Dimitrenko very soon in the coming weeks. So we'll wait and see how he looks against Alexander Dimitrenko before putting a sustained sort of conclusion against someone like Andy Joshua. But Price is just I don't rate him at all. But if he's being there fed to Parker or AJ, then fair play. Can't really say anything more than publicity and promotional stunt. So it's one of those things. Who beats AJ at heavy? I'll be honest, and I think this one is a very polarizing question, Mikey. So everyone will have different opinions. I personally think the two guys that beat him are Tyson Fury and Luis Ortiz. I think those two guys. Luis Ortiz is slightly predictable, but I just think his punch selection, variety. They're just things that AJ hasn't seen, and I think he's really gonna benefit with facing that sort of opposition on a lower scale now than later on. So I'm not sure what everyone else thinks. That's why I'd like to see him face the sort of Eric Molinas, Bermain Steverns, those sort of guys. It would be very interesting to see him face those sort of guys, and then we can make a proper assumption on Tyson Fury, Luis Ortiz. Maybe people will put Luis Ortiz as a 50-50, but I think Luis Ortiz has got a good chance in that fight. Tyson Fury definitely has a very, very good chance in that fight. I could even be inclined to say possibly Vladimir Klitschko as well. People might say otherwise, but Klitschko is very good at what he does. He dominates fights with a jab, and obviously the style of jab and grab. If he's facing someone like Kubrat Pulev, I think Vladimir Klitschko is by far and beyond a better fighter than someone like Pulev. Same style, but much better, stronger puncher, just harder jab. Everything about Klitschko is better than Pulev. So you could throw in Klitschko as a wild card to beat AJ. But as I said, we can only speculate. We can only Team Grows I think agrees with me that Klitschko beats him. But yeah, that is my thoughts on that. I think obviously people are going to say otherwise and think AJ is going to beat everyone. It's a tough one. Mikey seems to be a big fan of AJ, so he's sticking up for him hardcore in the chat. But in terms of I think it's just preference and what you've seen, and I don't think we've seen enough from AJ at the moment that. I don't think we've seen enough from him to kind of say, look, he is the best heavyweight in the world at the moment. I think he beats Wilder, but people may think otherwise, and some guys from the States who watch my videos probably think otherwise as well. So that's my thoughts on AJ, Price, Parker, or who beats him, that sort of stuff. Julius Long is a fantastic fighter. I think him and Sam Sexton are bound to be world champions in the in the coming year or so. I'm actually going to get tissue because my nose is doing bits, so just going to get tissue. We got some other heavyweight stuff. So I'll discuss Dillian White. Dillian White is a interesting sort of fighter to discuss. Give me one moment. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, he is a very, very interesting fighter, Dillian White. It's tough. It's tough to put him in a sort of category at the moment. I think he's a definite British level fighter at the moment. You know, he had a good win over Dave Allen. Dave Allen obviously a 10-fight novice, but he done okay against him. Didn't do terribly, but he didn't do thing. Didn't do great against him either. So yeah, it is one of those things. I definitely think I'm very split on Dillian White. I think he just needs to focus on his his technique and his conditioning. His conditioning is he was not good at all. I think he needs to he came in a career lowest. I think it was if I'm correct, or he came in decent sort of shape against Dave Allen, but that doesn't mean anything if you're not constructing your punches correctly and thorough use of a proper jab and that sort of stuff. I mean, he's just like pushing the jab out and that sort of stuff. So yeah, fundamentally, I think White needs to improve a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna say White is a entertaining character, definitely. I think he is he knows what he's doing. He knows how to sell a fight. He knows how to talk. So obviously he's been talking about Sam Sexton and Derek Chisora. The last sort of couple of days. There's been rumors that the Derek Chisora fight is lined up for December. It's almost a confirmed done deal. So yeah, it is one of those ones. But they're trying to. I reckon they're trying to hype the rematch if he beats Chisora. Yeah, I heard something on the lines of that he's going to win a world title, Charlie. But yeah, White is deluded at the moment. I think he seems like a very sort of likable guy. He is evidently people like him and definitely enjoy his stuff. But I just think that with Matchroom, he's definitely trying to. Eddie Hearn is definitely trying to build up a rematch with Anthony Joshua and get some crazy mega payday. I mean, you know. I don't mean to be disrespectful to the guy because listen, he's made it to a much higher level in the sport than I ever would do. But in regards to Mikey in the live chat, but he's saying all these things that I'm gonna knock this guy's head clean off. I mean, look, David Allen was a 10-fight novice. Okay, he probably has one of the best chins in heavyweight boxing. Well, supposedly, in sparring, people talk of his chin in glowing respect, but he didn't even rock Dave Allen once at all. So where's this sort of massive knockout power coming from? Where's this big talk that Sexton and Chisora are scared? I mean, Chisora turned up to his hotel. The hotel that they were doing the Dillian White promotional sort of signing for Matchroom. So he's certainly not scared. I don't think. So yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. It's a tough one with Dillian White. So I hope he doesn't watch this channel and come and ice me. that is the only thing I'm slightly worried about. But believe you me, I will hold my own. So yeah, AJ versus Whack. That's a tough one. I don't know. I really don't know. I could see it, but Whack has a good chin. But he hasn't been in a few wars, so susceptible to getting stopped. What was interesting when the Alexander Povetkin sort of saga was coming up with his drug scandal and stuff, he said Povetkin is the hardest punch I've ever faced in my life. So, it is one of those things. If people want to believe it, Alexander Povetkin became ridiculously ripped after the Alexander Charlie. I certainly hope that doesn't happen. But believe you me, I'm going to hold my own with Dillian White. Let's just put it that way. I won't go down without a fight. Might get knocked down a few times. It'll probably be like Tommy Cole, Daniel Brizuela. Let's put it that way. And I've got a dislike just now, so yeah. Hopefully, Dillian White is not looking at this video. But yeah, I mean, yeah. What I was talking about Whack is Alexander Povetkin is the hardest punch he's ever faced. Yeah. You know what? If I trained, possibly, I might have a chance, but not really, not really been given a chance in the live chat. First round blowout for Dillian White. Might be one of the better names on his resume, though. Me versus BG. Well, I'm definitely going to ice BG. Let's put it that way. I think he'd be too fleshy out of the way. Just don't think his 6'4" frame is strong enough for my come forward style. Yeah. I think Whack was supposed to face Pulev for the European title, but I don't know. It fell through. Yeah, I am deluded, but it's all in good fun and good spirits. Irish Tom, definitely. I'm definitely gonna ice him. He would go down. Jab to the body, and he'd go down. Let's put it that way. No, I love. You know what? I have a good discussion and good back and forth and everything with the podcast team. So shout out to all of them, and they're great guys. So much appreciated for me to be on the channel. That is the good thing about the channel. I think Gossip runs a good channel over there. Moving on. Chocolatito fight was mentioned by Louis Jarrett. Chocolatito, I think he's going to win. Carlos Cuadras is quite big for Superfly, actually, but I think Chocolatito is a very, very good fighter. I don't think he struggled. Don't think he struggled at the weight, flyweight too much. But he was certainly a massive guy in terms of he was very, very big at the weight, and in terms of just his frame, he's a small sort of guy in terms of the height, and but I think skill wise, his skills are second to none. One of my favorite fighters to watch at the moment. So yeah, I mean he is a very, very good fighter. So I pick him to beat Cuadras. Probably unanimous decision. I'm going to go with that. That is also on September 17th as well, I think. So, yeah, or September 24th. Actually, I think it's the one week before. Can't remember, but it's certainly in September. September looks like a very good month. Anthony Crolla versus Jorge Linares so is actually in September as well, September 24th, I think. So, yeah. I was actually watching some Calya fight earlier. Calya fight is Callier fight is a good fighter. Let's put it that way. I think he's fighting for a a version of the world title in October, if I'm correct, in Birmingham. So yeah, I'm just waiting to hear from some sources which champion he'll face. I think he was either supposed to face McWilliams Arroyo, or McJoe Arroyo, even his brother, um, who picked up the vacant strap after Zolani Tete was stripped of his IBF super flyweight title. He'll be facing either him or Kohei Kono. So yeah, it's been a toss-up between them two, but nothing's been announced on that. I think Gavin versus Eglinton is also on the undercard. I wouldn't mind going to that. It's a fair bit away, but I wouldn't mind traveling the hour and a half to 2 hours to get there to watch that. But I think the card probably would be sold out. Wouldn't mind that. I think Edwards is gonna. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Liam Smith, actually. We have discussed him. Yafai Butler would be a good fight. Yes, it would. I think Yafai would beat him, but it would be a good fight. I think Edwards is going to beat Casemiro, I'll be honest. But yeah, I just think Edwards is looking very sharp, very focused. He looks very light on his feet, skills, he's got everything for me. I really like Edwards, and I think he's going to do the job on Casemiro. I'll be honest. I think he's going to win on points. Liam Smith, I mean, he landed on Brook. Brook doesn't have the greatest head movement, so that I think we're having a bit of a banter in the chat about me against some pros. I probably get starched by a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, Liam Smith doesn't move his head either. He is, he's one of them sort of Joe Gallagher fighters, but he is good. He's not saying he's a complete sort of thing. And just as I discussed AJ, and we all discussed him, Eddie Hearn on Joshua Heavyweight Millennium Stadium Plan IFL TV interview. So yeah, go check that out after. I will be watching that after and seeing what he discusses in that video. Yeah. So Chris Eubank Jr. I didn't get around to him. Chris Eubank Jr. He's been talking and saying Tommy Langford's not in his league, and he's going to smash him to bits, and Kell Brook is too small, that sort of stuff. Yeah, obviously English has returned to Twitter as well in the last week and a half, and obviously Frank Warren is pitching as well on IFL, and I saw him on Boxing Scene actually, and he said we've cornered Eubank Jr. He has nowhere to go and nowhere to run. Why would I found it funny, and this sounds really harsh, but I stick to my guns on this channel. I always say, Liam Smith is a poor man's Canelo. Team Groves, you're spot on with that, I think. I just think Eubank. I think as soon as I talked about Eubank, the viewership spiked, and he's definitely must-watch TV. I think people want to see him win, people want to see him lose. So I mean, I just don't understand why Frank Warren would say we've cornered Eubank, but cornered him from who? Tommy Langford. Tommy Langford is not a big puncher. Fundamentally, he's not great. I don't understand. I don't understand what Frank's reasoning for saying that was, and he's put him on a Liam Williams undercard, which is even more embarrassing for the Eubanks. I think that this is he's done this on purpose, and I think he's just doing it to take that just take the mickey, really, to be honest. And I guess we'll wait and see just wait, kind of gauge the ticket sales and that sort of stuff. Maybe Eubank will sell a couple of more tickets. I know he's on an undercard, but on a Liam Williams undercard versus Amit Patterson, I mean, it can't get any worse for Frank Warren at the moment. You know, Eddie Hearn has some absolutely diabolically crap, you know, shite shows. Let's just put it that way. But you know, Frank Warren's cards recently have took the cake. They've been absolutely abysmal, to say the least. You know, they've just been terrible, and that's what I said. You know, I put it in my my exposure in boxing video, you know, a week or so ago, and I said, you know, all these promoters, they're doing their job. I understand, but you know, Eddie Hearn has changed the game in terms of exposure. He's brought some interest back to boxing or UK boxing. I think Frank Warren has a fantastic stable of fighters, and you know, you have to give credit to both. But I think, you know, he needs to call it a day if he's not giving, you know, his sort of top fighters the chance to excel on the top stage. I think he's really gonna. He's really gonna struggle, even more so than he's doing. I think he's running on a loss as well, a couple of million loss over on Box Nation in Queensbury. So yeah, I don't want this to sound like I'm licking Eddie Hearn's arse or anything, because I certainly don't like him either. You know, I don't mind watching his interviews. Frank Warren is boring, but you know, I just think that Frank really needs to get a move on in terms of what he does with his fighters. You know, Bradley Skeet. I know Liam Walsh has obviously got a fight coming up, but he's had nothing recently. You know, Ryan Walsh's brother's pretty decent. He has, you know, he's just continually defending the British down a feather. You know, it's just there's so many other fighters as well. Liam Williams, he should be going after European and world title shots, not, you know, British and Commonwealth title defenses and that sort of stuff. You know, I know Liam Smith's getting a big fight against Canelo, but you know, Liam Smith fought a absolute nobody in Predrag Radosevic and barely sold 1,000 tickets, if that, at the Liverpool Echo. BJ Flores versus Tony Bellew is going to be at the Liverpool Echo. I'm sure of it, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be sold out because Bellew's got a big mouth. Eddie Hearn knows how to promote it. I don't even think he promoted the Makabu fight, and that done about 17,000, 18,000. So that was at you know, Merseyside, Everton Football Club, Goodison Park. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Coppen, you're right. What's happened to Romeo and Prince Patel? You know, these sort of guys generate interest, and you know, Frank hasn't done anything to get them out. You know, Lucian Reid recently moved over to Box Nation. I've not heard anything from him. You know, it's just it's a joke. I don't understand. Billy Joe Saunders has fallen off the face of the planet. I haven't heard anything from him. He was supposed to be facing Canelo in December. You know, I know he's training out in MGM. He looks probably around 175. I'd say, you know, maybe 180. I'd say in terms of the weight. It's I don't know what Frank's doing. But you know, then again, I don't know what Eddie Hearn's doing with, you know, some of his fighters as well. I mean, you know, there's some fighters there. You know, Ted Cheeseman, Jake Ball, those sort of top level prospects. Conor Benn. They haven't been out for a while. Dillian White hasn't been out for a while. So, you know, I mean, they both have fundamental flaws in their promoting. But, yeah, nothing on Yard and Baker either. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what Frank's doing. As I said, I think I don't like any promoter. But, you know, Frank Warren is, I really don't know what he's doing. I don't know if it's just a quiet time in boxing, but he's definitely had some, you know, he's really struggling, I think, and I think he needs to call it a day and just give it to his son Francis Warren and let him take the reins, because it seems like he's a bit out of touch. You know, I'm not sure he's keeping up to date with many of the stuff that's going on, especially with the mispronunciation of you know, so many of the names. I haven't heard Yard's supposed to be on the Canelo card. I haven't heard anything of that, so I'd have to check that up. But yeah, please let me know if there's a link. I will check it out, and yeah, we'll check that out if I get a chance. You know, there isn't really much else. There's one or two topics to discuss, and leave your thoughts in the chat if you want to discuss anything else. I'm happy to take some questions as well, and call it a day there. Burns versus Relic has been made by he's been mandated to face Kira Relic, who's a good fighter. I know a few people mentioned they hadn't seen Relic on the comment section of the video I made, which was a few days ago. Kira Relic is a Belarusian sort of prospect contender level guy. He hasn't really fought anyone. He fights at 140, obviously. He's number one by the WBA rated. And he has, as I said, he looks very good. But I'd like to see who he faces. In terms of. Sorry, I would like to see if he could face someone closer towards Burns' level. But Burns, he fought Guerrero. He's not past it. I wouldn't say he's past it, but he certainly showed in the Figueroa fight that he was good. I discussed Big Baby earlier in the show, Cop End. He's back and forth with Wilder. They're going back and forth here and there. He's obviously called him out, but Wilder's obviously out till next year now. So this will obviously go up on the channel after it ends. So please do check that out. Tom, Irish Tom, please, I implore you to call in. I can send you the link if you would like it, and join me on and have a chat if you'd like. And I'm glad I could help you enjoy your evening as well. So please do get on if you would like the link. Just let me know and I'll send it to you by email. I think Nurse beats Burns, actually, to be honest. I think Nurse is scheduled to face. Okay, yeah, cool. I'll send it to you now, mate. You guys are getting a sneak peek of the man, the myth, the legend himself, Irish Tom. Let me just send it to him. But Nurse versus Burns, I think Nurse is a very, very skilled fighter, and I think he's more than good enough to beat him. But yeah, and I think I know what Tom wants to discuss, Canelo Smith. So I'm going to just send it to Tom now. No. Okay, there you go, Tom. It's been sent to you. So just hop on when you're ready, mate, and we'll get you straight on there, mate. Yeah, I mean, Burns is a tough one. I don't know what. I'm obviously the A side, I think. No, I'm kidding. Ask Irish Tom that. Yeah, he was scheduled to face Jack Catterall next for the British. So I don't know what's happening because Catterall was fighting for the WBO Intercontinental or something like that, or European WBO European. So I don't know what's going on with Catterall, but yeah, no, that would be a good fight, Nurse vs Catterall. But we'll see. Nurse is a very, very good fighter. I wouldn't mind him seeing him versus Bradley Skeet. That would be a boxing purist sort of fight. But yeah, it is a tough one. Don't know what everyone's thoughts. He's going back to the Hydra in Glasgow. So the black photo behind me is a poster of Bloodborne. So it's a game on PS4, and the back of it is also The Order. So they are just a few PS4 games, and it's to stop the sort of lighting issues and that sort of stuff, which I got criticised for at the start. So yeah, I'm planning to get a few more boxing posters. If I can find some nice memorabilia. So yeah. I mean, there are a few things to discuss. few, one or two things. Canelo obviously said that the Liam Smith fight was probably his last at 154. So I don't know what everyone's thoughts are on that. It's a tough one. I mean, Canelo he's coming out with all these sort of different things, saying, when my body grows into 160, I'll fight at 160. When in my next fight will be at 160, and he's come out with loads of contradictory statements and stuff. So I don't know what's going on with Golden Boy, Canelo, that sort of stuff. Obviously, Luis Ortiz has left. Golden Boy. He's left Golden Boy. So, Irish Tom. Hello.
Hello. Let me see. Can you hear me?
Hello. I can't.
Shit bags. 1 second.
1 second. 1 second.
Yeah.
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I've just put the volume on because I normally leave it because no one else does it. How are you, mate?
Not too bad. There's a big echo. I don't know what. How we'll do this. Do you have headphones or anything?
I can get some. I can run and get some. Get me.
Yeah, because when it's not muted, I think it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, there's no echo now.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, so
how are you doing?
I know you're tired, so whichever you want to discuss, whatever you want to do, we can discuss it.
What were you talking about? Sorry, I'm only literally just joined, so I didn't catch it until just there a minute ago.
Yeah, well, look, we're talking about David Price facing Parker, the weekend's action, Guerrero, Jarrell Miller, obviously from last week.
Did you see Gossip? Did you see Gossip was awful excited in that video where he's talking about Jarrell Miller?
Oh yeah. You know what? I saw the. I was discussing it earlier. I saw the. What was it? The Crow Cup fight, MMA. I saw that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looks like a tank, man. Like he looks absolutely huge. He just, I don't know. He, I don't know what.
There's something about him, isn't there? There's something about him.
Yeah. You know what? I was when you were saying it, and I was thinking now because I was sitting silently. I was so tired that day when we were talking on the podcast. I didn't talk much on that day, and I went back and watched him, and I watched some of his stuff. He's not like technically refined or anything.
Not technically rubbish either, though, is he?
He's not rubbish. As I said earlier in the show, he knows his way around the ring. He knows what he's doing. When he's coming forward, he's piling forward. You don't want to be. You certainly don't want to be against. You don't want to be on the end of his punches. But he's a 21 stone, 22 stone man. He's hitting nearly 300 pounds, and that most of that is not fat. Let's put it that way. He's he's a daunting man to face. You don't want to be. In the ring with him, certainly. You don't want to iron it out with him. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did you hear Dillian White this week? He's been saying Sam Sexton and Chisora are scared. I don't know if you've heard that.
Sorry, because I don't know if I presume it's my internet that's not being very good. But what did you just say? I didn't catch it there.
No, it's okay, mate. No problem. Dillian White. He's obviously been. He has a big mouth and he's been talking. He's called out Sam Sexton and Chisora. He's obviously said they're running scared of me and that sort of stuff. So I was talking about earlier on in the show, saying he faced Dave Allen. I know Dave Allen's notorious for having an excellent chin in sparring and all that stuff, all the rumors. But obviously he never rocked Dave Allen once at all, even though he threw a few big punches. So what are your thoughts on Dillian White calling out Sam Sexton and Chisora and a fight against Chisora being likely for December time?
Oh, well, I think, you see, Dillian was great crack for the old for the Joshua fight, but I think after about 7 or 8 more of these feuds, we're going to get pretty fucking sick of them.
I mean,
he just manufactured one.
Yeah.
He manufactured one about saying your man was shagging the sheep when he went in. It's just like he's just, he's playing the game now. I don't. To be honest with you, that Dave Allen fight was really poor.
Yeah.
would be fairly poor. But the one thing I'll say is that I don't know if you saw that kind of, I don't know, it was obviously set up by the promoters, but when Chisora rocked in when Dillian White was signing his contract.
Oh yeah.
But don't
think about that earlier. Yeah.
the only thing I'd say about that, it did look like the alpha male wasn't Dillian White. It looked like Chisora was the alpha male there. So I think Dillian is about Chisora kind of the now, but he'd probably be as good as Chisora used to be.
Yeah, I mean, Chisora as well.
And
isn't he?
That kind of way, like really good at the start, but then Ricardo Mayorga has a fucking row with somebody in a press conference for the 11th time, and you're like going, "Oh, give us a fucking break."
Yeah, you're spot on, really, man. Me and you tend to be at loggerheads sometimes, but when we agree almost like to a T, so to speak. I mean, Chisora, it's just dodgy, isn't it? Like, I don't know, man. Chisora, I don't want to see him in a top level fight ever again. The Pulev fight was awful, mate. Like, I could not bear to ever watch that again. And I was lucky it was during my sort of exam period, and I didn't have to pay full attention to it because it was shocking.
Bastard.
Yeah.
My internet.
Sorry. Oh, I think Tom's dropped off. No. You still there, Tom?
Yeah, I am here, but it's when you it comes. No, it always is, but it's pretty shit. I'm just trying to close down some stuff. I've got a lot of shit open here.
Yeah, I was saying about
what do you call it? What about we're giving Canelo a lot of hard time for ducking GGG, but some part of it some part of me thinks as well that he hasn't really been fighting at 160, and that it's kind of fair enough that he fights some proper fully fledged 160 people, but then he goes down and he fucking fights Liam Smith, and that's a fucking joke. What do you call it? Did you see the Kell Brook behind the ropes?
I didn't see it, but I heard that he was in sparring with Liam Williams, Liam Smith, Reese Cartwright, those sort of guys.
Yeah, like I think it was mostly the one that showed was Liam Smith.
Yeah,
but I know it's sparring, but Liam Smith was able to catch him flush a few times in there. I know they are sparring, but I don't know what's going on. Like he's sparring. Like, what would you be doing if you were facing GGG? Would you be sparring 154 guys?
Oh, not mate. I'd be sparring 168, maybe 175 guys. I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Yeah, like what's that about?
Do you know what? I haven't got a clue what Brook and his team are thinking, mate. I'll be honest. They're really not preparing, to the full extent, and they're kind of I don't know. They're underselling Kell Brook to an extent, and I think.
What do you mean?
Sorry.
What do you mean? They're underselling him. Like, what do you mean?
I think they're like underselling him in terms of the fight itself. They're not giving him, ample opportunity to say, look, he's gone into the fight. He's sparred bigger men. He's he's been whooped in sparring a few times. You can go in and say that. That's fine. That happens. It's sparring, but you can't go in there and then go, look, I've sparred Liam Williams, who is the greatest British and Commonwealth 154 fighter ever. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Team Groves has said they're sparring Liam Williams for the speed guys, but you got to be fighting the massive guys. Maybe the Charlo brothers. They're big guys for 154. Demetrius Andrade. You got to go over to the States and make your name. You can't sit over here in the UK and.
Especially the thing that strikes me is that, like, GGG is not very fast. He's just got timing.
Yeah.
And you're better off. Like I think some, as opposed to Liam Williams, you're probably better off sparring your man Tommy Langford. But Tommy Langford, like, imagine sparring Tommy Langford to prepare for GGG. It's just, I don't know. I suppose the other thing is that, you're always going to be sparring partners. That's the other thing. You know what I mean? But you'd think that they'd actually look a bit like him or have a similar style.
Yeah.
None of them are pressure. Well, I suppose Liam Smith is a pressure fighter at least, but he's tiny and he's just not like he's a small 154. You know,
Yeah, that's what I thought. You know, people were saying Liam Smith's a big 154, and he's obviously said,
what planet are they on?
I don't.
Have you seen Canelo stand beside Liam Smith?
Yeah, they're around the same size. That's what I thought.
Yeah, but I think Canelo's even a little bit smaller height-wise. But Canelo looks like a fucking brick, and Liam Smith doesn't like. Canelo is a unit, you know. Liam Smith doesn't look. He's not particularly. They call him beefy. It's a very strange.
Yeah, that's what I thought, to be honest. Mikey said I'd be sparring Groves if I was Brooke. I'd be inclined to say that.
Well, I don't know because Grove's not a pressure fighter though. Like the thing is, all these guys he's sparring, none of them are pressure fighters.
Yeah, I thought.
No, well, Liam Smith is.
I thought he'd go over to the States. I'll be honest. I thought he'd go over to the States and go. You know what? Let me go out of my comfort zone. Someone said the Ingles know what they're doing, but sometimes you need to go outside your comfort zone, go over to the States and train and spar there. You know, there are Badu Jack's there. You can spar with Badu Jack. You know, you're cutting down loads of weight. You're about 168 now.
I'd spar it. I'd spar James DeGale.
Yeah.
James DeGale can walk you down. Like James DeGale, he's got different styles. He can do a come forward at you style. You could get James DeGale spar. You know that. You know that's a much better spar if you ask me. But or even somebody like Callum Smith, and let him come at you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
mate, you're spot on. You know, I think we agree to a T on this. I mean, it's a tough one. I just, you know, some of the guys in the chat have been saying it's a, you know, I see. I give Brooke a better chance over time. Like they've been giving Brooke a bit more chance, more than what we've been given recently. But I just still can't see it. I mean,
I've been looking at all these fucking GGG fights nearly every night. If the missus goes up to bed and I'm not tired, I watch a GGG fight.
Yeah.
I've been going through. What did I watch last night? I watched. Who did I watch? I've watched the Monroe fight. The Monroe fight is actually quite a good fight. Monroe, when he tried, or was it Curtis Stevens? One of them tried to fight him. I think it was Monroe in the middle of the ring.
They both tried to fight him, didn't they?
They tried to fight him in the middle of the ring, and they had their most success when they tried to push him back. But they still could only manage it for about 2 minutes. you know?
I mean,
because when they do it, they just leave themselves open, and he'll catch him, and then they'll drive him back to the ropes.
I think he's so educated that he knows exactly what he's doing, because someone said he doesn't have much head movement and you know, that sort of stuff, but
he has it if he wants to.
Yeah, I think the style of fighting he operates and he you know comes with, he doesn't need head movement because he's cutting off the ring consistently. He's suffocating his opponent. So yeah. I think, you know, for me it's just
you know, it's such a perfect style for his attributes, because like the one thing you'll see with fighters say like Floyd and these, when they don't have the serious pop, you know, in their shots, they play a slick game, you know. But when like you got Golovkin and he's got a great jaw and he's got amazing power, and what should you do in that kind of scenario? You should apply your pressure and use your skills for application of pressure instead of avoiding of shots, because you know your fights aren't going to be 12 rounds. You're not going to be taking 12 rounds of punches. You're going to be ending them in 4, because on average, because you're going to fucking steam through this guy. You know, if he played, if Gennady fought behind, was like a Floyd type fighter or a slick fighter and fought behind his jab, say, for most of the time, he'd probably take 10 shots a round over 12 rounds and take 120 shots in a fight. But when he's fighting a bit more openly and he's fighting for 4 rounds, he's probably taking 15 shots a round, but he's only taking 60 in total because he's fucking knocking these guys out. You know what I mean? It's like a perfect application of a guy who's got power and amazing skills. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw a guy who hunted like him at the higher weights.
And the thing is, he's so educated, isn't it? He knows exactly what he's doing. Every little movement he does, he's so methodical. He's so methodical.
Yeah, no, I just, the more I look at it, like sometimes I'm looking at the fights and I'm analyzing them and I'm going, oh, could Brooke apply that? And you see a guy's doing the right thing and he applies it, but they can only do it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they get fucking caught and then they're smashed back to the ropes and then they're in fucking, like I watched the Murray fight. That was the last one I watched as well.
Yeah.
Murray did well, actually. He did well to survive. Like, he took a hell of a lot of punishment in that fight. Yeah, I can't give Brooke any chance. I can't fucking give him any chance.
Yeah, mate.
I feel like I'm being ridiculously negative. Maybe I'm negative a lot about these fighters, but I don't give them any fucking chance at all.
Right. I'll be honest. Neither do I. I can't give him. I can't give it any more chance than I've already given him. It's a tough one. I mean, as I said, people have progressively given Brooke a bit more chance over time, but after seeing what what he looks like in sparring and whatnot, whatever I've seen, Matthew Macklin giving him advice, but I cannot give him any chance.
Matthew Macklin's giving him advice.
Yeah, got done with it.
What's he going to say to him? Don't get knocked out in the second round.
I mean,
that's the biggest mistake I made in that fight. Yeah. I got knocked out in the second round. Was it the second round? Wasn't it?
It was third, I think. He got done by a body shot, left foot to the body.
I remember, yeah.
Left foot to the body in the third round, yeah.
And it wasn't even in. It was weird because I don't think it was on to like the rib part. It was like in the middle of his body.
Yeah,
that's what he lands these weird. Like he lands these thudding left hooks, but he doesn't put them into the ribs some of the times. He puts them into.
Very unorthodox. That's what I think makes him a bit tougher as well. He's not a conventional sort of fighter. He's very unorthodox as well. Very, very good fighter. Very good fighter.
You know the way, like I've been watching the Golovkin. I must say I really do like his style. Him and Spence, I fucking really like their style.
Yeah, no, I missed that week, isn't it? When I was away that week with some family.
Oh yeah.
I never got to say my top 5 as well. I saw you guys as top 5. You put Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a very good fighter as well, actually.
Yeah, like it was just kind of favorite fighters. I left that rig on though. I didn't cop it until afterwards. But it's such. I just love this hunting style. Like it's like a Hagler had a kind of a similar style. Like I actually even nearly prefer. I don't know. I think I nearly prefer GGG's. Well, he hasn't been up against the same guy, so maybe that's why Haglers look, more. Haglers don't look as devastating sometimes. But like, or Hagler versus Mugabe. Have you seen that fight?
No,
Mugabe.
I'll be honest.
Mugabe.
No, I'll be honest. So all the guys know as well. I'm not too much into the smaller sort of older fights because I got into. Obviously, I'm quite young compared to everyone else, and obviously the sort of big fights I know, but.
You should check that out. Hagler versus Mugabe. John Mugabe I think he's from Zimbabwe. Not Zimbabwe. He's from John Mugabe. Is like let me see. I think he might have been Zimbabwe. No, Ugandan. He was he was like a killer. He was like knocking lads out left, right, and fucking center. And then Hagler took him on, and they went to war.
Yeah, I'll be honest. One of my favorite old fighters is probably Roberto Duran. He's fantastic, mate. I'll be honest.
He's amazing.
And he's just fantastic. Hands of stone, man. Hands of stone.
Yeah, and all those fights we kind of know him from the 80s is when he was past it. I think he bet Ken Buchanan for the World Championship in 1976 or something. Like and he was still going crazy and
mate, it was crazy because he moved up through the weight classes and he was still knocking guys out. Like it was he started at 135 or 130 or something.
135 he lorded, yeah.
He moved up to about super middleweight and he was still knocking guys out. It was a joke. I mean,
yeah, sorry, 72. He lost the title, Ken Buchanan, in 72 to Duran.
Yeah.
And then Duran is like literally when he was like fucking like 35, he was fighting Hagler and these boys. But no, but the Hagler John Mugabe fight is a great fight. Those guys. John Mugabe took horrendous amount of shots. Like when he was going, you're like, how is this guy standing up? Some of these guys who have really wide stances.
It's like Deontay Wilder, isn't he? He has a massive.
Yeah, and John McAfee does amazingly wide stance. So when you get hit, like he'd be leaning over his front foot and you get hit flush, and his head would just, and he'd go all the way back, but his legs were so wide it was nearly impossible to fucking knock him out. And he took some savage beating, and eventually Hagler got rid of him. But yeah, no, like, so I look the GGG. I just love that style, the Mexican style. I think it's fucking brilliant to watch.
Mm.
And I look, I don't know. I feel bad because I think Brooke was going to get fucking destroyed. Did you see? I saw an interview with GGG, and he was saying, like, if Brooke tries to make this a street fight, this is what GGG was saying. He kind of laughed. He said, and then he went,
"Yeah, I've seen loads."
You know, did you see that one? He's like, "Yes, it'll be over very early," or something. You know, big drama show.
Drama show, that sort of stuff. Yeah, GGG is a character in himself.
I reckon fucking he must have GGG must have he must have fucking Sacha Baron Cohen writing his fucking trauma joke lines for him. What do you reckon? It's like fucking. It really is like Borat. Big drama show.
Yeah. One more thing, because I know we'll catch up tomorrow. Tommy Langford and Chris Eubank Jr. have had a social media sort of disagreement.
I went to have a look at that. I went to look on Twitter. I couldn't see it. Is it not on their Twitter pages or what?
It wasn't really on Twitter. It was you know, kind of on just like boxing scene and that sort of stuff. But the funniest thing I think you may find funny is Frank Warren. He said, "We've cornered Chris Eubank Jr. He can't run anywhere." And so I just thought, how on earth could Chris Eubank Jr. be scared of Tommy Langford? Like, you know, I don't know if he meant that in reference to Billy Joe Saunders, but I don't know your thoughts on that. You know, obviously English has resurfaced on social media. And, you know, I know your thoughts on English, but you know, Eubank Jr. and Langford going at it. I know. And
yeah, like I think well, we haven't seen Langford in really against anybody, but I think Langford looks more of a boxer than any of the guys he's been in with since Billy Joe.
Yeah.
So if Langford is able to stay elusive and he's a fit guy, he might go good rounds with him. You know, he might even know. You know, I think Eubank Jr. is like, he's a really exciting fighter to watch when he puts his foot down. But like when he's boxing, he on the outside trying to box.
Yeah, it was like
cultural, man.
Yeah.
I do
it was like Tom Doran, isn't it? Tom Doran.
Tom Doran caught Flush 140 times in that fight, about 3 rounds. Like, you know, but I think Tom Doran probably has more power than
Tommy
Langford. But Tommy Langford is a good 6 foot. He's a tall.
Yeah, he's a tall middleweight. He's quite a big middleweight.
Yeah.
He's number 2 in the WBO rankings, I think, as well, which was
number 2 in the world, huh?
I don't understand, honestly. It's just
Is he in the top 5 in England?
Oh, wait. You know what? Let's put that down.
You wouldn't put him ahead of Luke Blackwell before
Nick Blackwell before he retired.
Yeah.
You know, there's what else? John Ryder, maybe.
You probably would pick John Ryder.
John Ryder, and
probably about John Ryder's level, isn't he?
You have Spike. You have those sort of guys. Maybe he's in and around. Maybe he's 6 or 7, maybe.
But you see, Jet Spike's an Irishman. He's not British, you see.
Okay.
Yeah. He's probably, the thing is, like, he's probably not in the top 3 if he was Irish. That's how bad he is.
Spike. Well, you know what?
Spike and Andy Lee.
So you'll never know who I watched this evening. I watched our friend Anthony Ogogo against Journeyman that looked like Artur Spilka, and he knocked him down about 5 times.
Where was this?
It was in the Sauerland. You know the Sauerland undercard? Tyrone Zoiga versus DeCarolis. I think it was on that card. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I've actually seen that one. This is the fella who was about 3 weight classes below him.
Yeah, something like that. He looked like Artur Spilka, I think it was.
Tanya, fucking Davy Boy Essex.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Putting fucking junk in my brain. It comes up in my YouTube subscriptions when I'm working. And I'm like, oh, I'll watch Anthony Ogogo. I was like, fuck's sake. Has he fought anybody with a winning record? Let's look that up.
You know what? I'm gonna check that now. And I'm gonna relay that. He's a running parody. Right? He's saying I'm going after the British title.
Here we go. You ready?
I'm here.
5 and 13, 5 and 4. He bet one fella 5 and 4, 7 and 9, 5 and 26, 3 and 1, 8 and 4, 10 and 8, 11 and 3, 4 and 19, 11 and 2, 19 and 20.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this guy's awful. Honestly, I don't understand.
I wonder which is the highest ranking guy. The fella who had a good record of 11 and 3 was ranked 438.
Oh my gosh. Oh god.
Let's look. Then the other guy was 432. That was the fella he just bet. Gary Cooper 640.
Oh my gosh. They're not even inside the top.
Ruslan Schleslev 207. Wow, 207.
They're not even inside the top 200. They're outside.
Yeah, and the one that was 207, he went the distance.
Oh my gosh. So it's just, I don't know. You get these fighters, don't you? Though it is what it is. I think they're just padding their records and that sort of stuff. It happens so much now. It happened on the weekend. I think I don't know if you know him, Terrell Gausha. He's a 154 prospect, 2012 Olympian. I don't know if you know.
Where's he from?
He's American. He's American.
Yeah, no, because I saw he was on IFL, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, he was on IFL. He basically him and Erickson Lubin.
Yes.
Yeah, Erickson Lubin is a much more highly touted prospect, I think. But at the start of his career, Gausha was supposed to be a very, very good prospect, and Gausha didn't really look good against Steve Martinez. Some people are saying Martinez got robbed on the weekend. So, I mean, it happens everywhere now. Like people just padding that was supposed to be a padding record fight, and it happens so much now that I think we've just us as boxing fans, we can see past it, but we've become so accustomed to seeing all these dodgy fights now. And I said it earlier. I was speaking about what we spoke about a few weeks ago now, and I put a video out. I'm not sure if you saw it, the exposure in boxing one.
Yeah.
I put that out, and I obviously spoke about it today. And I said Frank Warren, obviously, I don't know what he's doing, putting Eubank on a Liam Williams undercard. I don't know how many tickets he's going to sell and that sort of stuff. So I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know what the promoters are doing now. As I said, like, I'm not a fan of Eddie or Frank or anything, but
I think you're a secret fan of Eddie Hearn.
No, I don't. Honestly,
you're the one. Here's my issue now.
Okay, all right, go on. I want to.
Yeah, this is what you say. You say, "Oh, Eddie's done a good job there for his mates." Do you actually think Eddie Hearn is friends with any of these guys if they weren't fucking making them money?
If he says he's
not a fucking hope,
but he's making money regardless, isn't he?
I know, but when a promoter calls you your mate, man, you want to fucking look and check your pockets.
Yeah, let's put it this way, yeah. What's Frank done for probably the most loyal guy at Box Nation, Billy Joe Saunders? That's what I say. I don't have anything against Frank or anything against Eddie. I don't like them or dislike them. They do their job, and that's
I dislike all promoters.
Yeah, exactly, I do too. But they're doing their job. That's fine. But Frank, he has so many talented fighters. I just don't understand what he's doing with the fighters. Liam Walsh has barely got a fight now against Andrei Klimov. Klimov, who actually lost to.
He's just a smaller promoter, and you're not going to have the number of dates that Eddie's going to have. You're not going to be able to fill him.
The thing is, he can get the dates because it's Box Nation, so there are ready TV dates because it's its own channel. But
no, because the thing is, it costs to do a live show. That's massively expensive for them to do.
But that's the big. Do these small hall show ones. He does a lot of them, doesn't he?
Not. I don't think that are properly not a big show like where they've got people in the studio or people there live, and you got to have a big TV truck out the back, and you got to have satellite, and you got to have certain number of engineers and all that. That's where the money comes in. It's really expensive to put one on those shows on. And not the show. They can make money on the show, but to actually broadcast it, they're really expensive. That's why. I think that's he doesn't do too many of them. That's one of the big reasons is because they're so expensive. But look, he's a smaller promoter, but Billy Joe Saunders is world champion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's world champion. I did say, look, he's a world champion, but he's fallen off the face of the planet. He's got. Yeah. I can't discredit that. He's got Liam Smith a good fight. I'll give him that.
And I don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes with that Canelo stuff, because it does look like Billy Joe Saunders is being fucked around a bit. But
you just want him out there. Do you know what I mean? Get his name out there, facing Jacobs. Not even Jacobs, Lemieux, Stevens, anyone decent. it gets the fan interested. Any fan.
Well, I know, but like the thing is, Jet, if like if Canelo had come together in December, you go, that's fucking 2 fights he's had this year. You'd say he won the world title and then he fought the biggest draw in boxing. Like so swings and roundabouts. Look at what is Eddie Hearn with all this amazing talk? Like Eddie Hearn is, he thinks that he's changed the face of boxing, but in reality, what he's managed to organize, I think he is quite a good salesman. But I do think so. But one of the things that he's managed to organize is a position of essential monopoly.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Yeah, and every capitalist wants a monopoly situation because you can charge super profits, you can charge what you want, and so basically he's going to get all the fighters to him, and he's going to be able to, pay. He's going to be able to create the market Eddie Hearn's in a great position for Eddie Hearn, and all these other promoters like Mick Hennessy has fallen on his arse, right? Will he be promoting a few years? I suppose what you call it's done quite well. Barry McGuigan has done quite well, but that's on the back of Frampton.
Yeah, that's definitely on the back of Frampton. What he's done with Frampton is very, very good and intelligent.
Very good with Frampton. But like the thing is, like, so with these other with when it comes to Eddie Hearn, like he's a good promoter. I'm not going to say he's not a good promoter, but all the reason why he's doing so well is he's got a position of monopoly, and it's got fuck all. Like Frank used to be the man in boxing, when it was open, but when he lost the Sky or he turned down the Sky contract, and Eddie went in there and managed to get a monopoly. But like I think the monopoly situation is it's kind of good for fans in a certain way, that it's good for fans as in that like when there was a monopoly of organizations, just the WBC organization, we got good fights all the time.
Yeah,
because they had to win the belt. You had to fucking beat somebody good.
It's like the UFC; they make them fight their number one, number two.
Make them fight, but like the UFC don't pay their fighters.
Yeah, no, as in same sort of concept, but obviously.
Yeah, no, it's the same, but they, it's like the fighters get screwed in UFC, and the fellas who own UFC are billionaires. It's bullshit. But so, like, so it's just a position of monopoly. So and when a fella says, "Oh, I'm mates with this guy" and all that, it's like, put your fucking hands in your wallet and make sure no one's fucking your promoter is fucking mugging you. Like the thing is, the people who've done best under Eddie Hearn money wise, apart from AJ, who's a phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
Are the boys that went Al Heyman.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Fucking James DeGale has made more money than anybody else by far. By far.
Got what, like $1 million and a bit for facing Porky Medina, something like that.
Yeah, compare that to what Kell Brook is basically. Kell Brook, if he had been signed to Al Heyman for the last 2 years, he would have had $1 million purse minimum, probably 5 times.
Yeah.
And in that period with Eddie Hearn, he had 2 or 3 fights for about £300,000-400,000 a piece.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance he would have had a big fight against someone like Sean Porter rematch or a Thurman fight for $2 million, and he probably would have made $5 or $6 million by now. Yeah, and instead he's probably made £1 million, and now he's maybe going to catch up and maybe get a couple of million for this. But what's he going to do? He's going to get bet fucking brutally, and he's going to never be able to be a 147 fighter again.
And where his physical attributes.
And so like Eddie Hearn has been a disaster for Kell Brook's career.
Yeah, definitely.
He's been brilliant for AJ, but he's been bad for him. And he did well for Carl Froch. But the Carl Froch is just a pure fluke. That's a fluke one. Because you can never, how many times do you remember, for a couple of years afterwards, you talk about, we'll get Wembley fight. Remember all the shite talking with Brett Kell Brook and him, and it falls true. Every year he's probably trying to get one of them, and he'll probably find that it's probably about once every. If he's doing well, they're kind of lucky at the moment that you got you got Fury and AJ in the one country, and hey, there's actually a chance you can get one.
Yeah, you always need a dance partner. Groves had, Froch had Groves. You know, AJ has Fury there. Dillian White, he had him as well for 500, almost 500,000 pay-per-views. So I think it's just he's done well with what he has in terms of the market as well. The market's been very generous to Eddie Hearn as well. And but yeah, it is one of those things, isn't it? You're always trying to line your pocket in business, in boxing, and boxing is a business, so we have to look at it from that perspective also. It's not nice to say as a fan, but you know, commercial value is and means a lot in the current landscape. Anyway,
dude, I'm gonna run.
Yeah, I'm gonna run as well.
Fucking destroyed.
Just
I was up 6 o'clock this morning with my little bastard son.
Hope all is well for tomorrow. So,
fuck. Yeah. I'm going to collapse now. Right, dudes. I'll talk to you tomorrow night if I'm still alive.
Yeah, mate. Catch you tomorrow, man.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. Nice one. Appreciate it. So, big shout out to Irish Tom for coming on and giving us his great knowledge and insightful input. So, yeah, big shout out to Irish Tom. I don't think we're going to have any more callers. Harley was supposed to call in, I think, but I haven't got a request, and I'm going to run off now. I think I've been running for about an hour and a bit. So, yeah, I think I'm going to head off and let everyone hit the hay. Not listen to me, just continue ranting. No, I don't think he is, mate. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video or the live show, this will go up on the channel after after its end. It will go up on the channel, and you guys will be able to watch it back. Please do give the thumbs up. Post your thoughts in the comment section once it goes up on the channel. The one dislike again. Please let me know if you want me to do anything differently. And yeah, great to catch up with everyone. We'll catch you tomorrow for the podcast. Take care, guys. Yeah, just share the video as well. Get it out to a larger boxing audience. And catch you soon. Peace.